I'm just kidding.
That's
Jeff,
right.
We're not going to put that.
That's right. Bring it in tight for the breaking news.
I'm sure Peyton's on the edge of his seat right now.
All right. What do you want him to do?
By the way, can I say one thing? I saw you on SportsCenter the other day talking about your retirement and how you had to force yourself into retirement. You said, I'm going to lose my weight.
Absolutely.
And you dropped. You look so great
awesome.
right now.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I mean, it's like night and day from what you had to be to play offensive lineman, obviously.
No, but you're exactly right. This is the way this thing progressed. We went to the Pro Bowl. Did my last snap with Peyton. That whole deal I had announced.
What year was this? I'm losing track.
This was 3 years.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then, my wife and I and our kids stay in Hawaii for one extra week. We do the Disney thing in Hawaii, and then fly back. And I literally started losing weight. And the reason I did it is because I knew if I didn't burn the bridges, I would go back. I mean, I just knew me enough to know that if I had the opportunity and the call was there, and it would be a difficult thing to just lay it out and not do it. I knew, burn the bridges, man. Get as skinny as I could, as fast as I could. Then if anybody calls you, go, hey, man, you don't want to sit in 250.
You would save yourself from yourself.
Exactly.
Your football self.
Because you love the game and you love the environment and playing it that much that at some point you got to just decide, hey, it's cold turkey. I'm done.
Wow. So, just what do you want to see happen? Just look.
This is the breaking news. I'm going to tell you right now what he's going to do. We hung out Sunday after the game a little bit, brought it in tight. He's going to run for president.
Where did you see him after the game? Oh, he's going to run for president.
He's going to run for president.
You know what? He'd have a shot.
That's my point. The only independent, maybe even write-in. I'm gonna have some type of cabinet position, or maybe running. I got to do something.
Yeah,
right?
that's why you were getting slim.
That's the real deal, right? He's got a face for radio. I'm more of a camera TV guy, right? But we're going to bring it in. But here's the real deal. The only place he's not going to win is New England. Everywhere else, he's going to win. He's got the Midwest because of Indy. He's got the South because of Tennessee. Now he plays out West. I mean, it's a shoe-in.
It's a done deal.
It's a done deal.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. You got it here first. I'm letting you all know.
First family
Would you
of
vote for
football
him?
and the U.S.
Would you vote for him?
I'm not that political. I'd have to know. I'd have to know something about what he stood for politically, I guess. But,
well, I mean, I think he may have a shot, irrespective of what he said.
I must say, just at a glance, hypothetically, if he could suddenly announce his candidacy, I think he'd have a real shot right now. I do.
Especially this year.
That's not good. We shouldn't. That's we don't need that.
Well, but it's true. He would have a shot right now. He's beloved.
He is.
Okay.
He is. I will say this, though, in all seriousness and fairness. I think what John Elway said was probably the greatest, statement that I've heard about retirement. And it's the 99% the one. You may be 99% sure this is what but that 1% is really what you hang on for. I mean, greatest quote that I've ever heard about retirement. And a guy who I'm sure, was at the same place Peyton is right now in his career after the Super Bowl is that 1%, this is the last time you're ever playing this game. You're never going back to it. So if you love playing the game, that's what you have to come to grips with. Because riding off in the sunset, all of those things are all great if it's what you want. It can't be what I want for him, what you want for him, what everybody else wants for him. Hey, you couldn't have written a script better. Maybe that's not what he cares about, right? Maybe he cares about playing.
Okay.
And if you do, you need to keep playing until you don't play anymore, right? If you have the opportunity. And so the way I've always looked at retirement for football, he's been doing it 30 years. The quarterback room, bus rides, plane rides, all the intangibles about the game, that's the real addiction. That's the real deal. I mean, players, we talk about Sundays. Let me tell you something. Hanging out, being together, the camaraderie of having one main goal for that long, that's really what grips you for the game. And that's 30 years in the making. You just don't turn that off. And so that's the emotional side that he has to go through and process through to finally make that call.
Okay, so you're very close with Peyton, obviously. Snapped the ball to him for years in Indy. So after the game, were you able to, after the Super Bowl, were you able to go to their team party or their?
Yeah, I saw him afterwards. Yeah,
okay.
he had a thing and we
he had a thing. That's great.
Yeah. So
okay,
it was great.
Can you just basically describe his emotions after the game when you saw him?
He was extremely happy, and I'll say this, like probably, but even the week leading up. even the week leading up, there's a group of us who all play together, and we're on text together. And so, he was very relaxed, really loose. He was joking. We were busting. He was making fun of me at media days and that kind of thing, comparing me, all those things that we do, right? Taking shots and that kind of stuff because he knows he can't get, no one can come back at him because he's up there on stage, right? So he was as relaxed as I've ever seen him, honestly. I've never seen him more comfortable in it and just really absorbing the moment and enjoying where he was at. And after the game, it was no different. That was, that was as good as and as relaxed as I've seen him. And
so
really
of all his football achievements dating back to New Orleans high school days, what do you think this one meant to him?
Because of the year, probably the most.
I would agree.
If you think about what he went through this year, it was
neck surgeries, everything.
It was brutal. The build up to it, the whole thing, him being behind Osweiler and carrying that like a pro. Think about how many guys in his position would have handled it the way he handled it like a true pro.
He ran the scout team.
Absolutely.
He was the backup quarterback.
It's unbelievable. And if he was going to do workouts, he did them off where nobody could see. Just the way that he handled all of that, wondering if he was ever going to get back on the field with the injury. And then coming back, leading his team. Think about beating Pittsburgh, beating the Patriots. All of that goes together, and then winning the Super Bowl. I don't know that it could get any bigger. And understanding that he was a role player as well. And that he had taken a different seat in the room than he ever had. For most guys like myself, we were in that role at some point where it was about other people. It wasn't about us, right? As an offensive lineman, that's your life. As the star quarterback for 18 years, that has not been his seat in the room.
No.
And so for him to get that perspective and embrace it, that's probably the most. I couldn't appreciate anything more about him. That's the way he handled it, and putting it on the defense. Hey, this is a defense-led football team. Never trying to grab it, never trying to make it about him. I got a ton of respect for the way he handled that.
So we've heard from the mom, the father, Archie, obviously, the big brother. They want him to stop now.
Yeah.
Perfect way to go out. What does Jeff Saturday want him to do? What do you want to see? If it's your call, you want what?
As his friend.
Yeah. Whatever he wants to do. I think from my perspective as a player, and as long as I did, whatever he wants to. His family they have their own reasons for wanting it, and I'm not sure what they are, but for whatever it is, that's where they want him. From my perspective, man, whatever you want to do, go get it. If you want to retire and go retire. His legacy was cemented to me years ago as the greatest of all time. This is just putting cherries on top, right? So as you're looking at it from that perspective, there's nothing else he could do. There's no more that he could go get. No. So if you're satisfied with what you've done, lay it down and be good. But you've got to come to grips with it because he's not going to be the wishy-washy guy, right? Once he makes a decision, it's going to be there. But once you've made it, it ain't coming back. So just make sure you're comfortable. You're going to be happy with with your wife and your kids and your family time and whatever else you decide to do. But that's really what I just want you to be content in your life. And so many of our guys walk away, leave the game and have regret about it. You just don't ever want to be there. So make sure that you've come to that.
Okay.
That
so
place.
What's your best guess on this question? How battered is his body now? And I'm talking about cumulatively battered. Okay. So if that's the case,
I will say that. Seeing him, through the years, he has taken 18 years of it. Look at Brett Favre. Look at all the guys who've done it forever. They take a thumping. There's a reason offensive linemen at 14 years, we stop, right? You're getting to the point now where age catches up and those hits, all that catches up. And there's no training your way through it. There's no, it doesn't matter how well you eat. All those things are great. But it's a car wreck. And when you're getting smacked around, it's a car wreck, man. And your body can only adapt and can only handle it for so long. So